Welcome to Awards for Young Musicians 2023 online concert. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Mahalia Edwards, a violinist and educator. Supported financially and musically by AYM's awards programme, I've also been a mentor on their Talent to Talent mentoring programme. In 2020, I became an alumni trustee, and it's been wonderful having these experiences and opportunities that have arisen from this role. I'm delighted to be your host for this evening. At AYM, we know that musical talent is everywhere, but opportunity isn't. Financial and other obstacles too often get in the way. We're here to change this. We support individual young musicians from low-income families with funding and other help, and we also support musical education through training, advocacy and research, ensuring young musicians' potential is better identified and progressed. This combination creates real impact. In fact, we've just been shortlisted for the 2023 Royal Philharmonic Society's Impact Awards, which we're delighted about. Our work spans all musical genres, as you will see tonight. Our programmes are targeted to help young musicians from across the UK to grow, flourish and fulfil their musical potential. All tonight's performers are supported by our awards programme. Many go on to have fantastic careers. For example, we've helped winners of BBC Young Musician of the Year, including violinist Jennifer Pike and pianist Martin James Bartlett, and other fabulous musicians including saxophonist and broadcaster Jess Gillam, conductor Duncan Ward and composer Gavin Higgins. If you know any young person who might need support from our awards programme, they can find out more on our website www.a-y-m.org.uk. You can also find out more about our 3 other programmes too. Thank you as ever to all our fantastic supporters, and if you're new to AYM, we hope you'll be inspired to get involved. If you want to help us create a buzz this evening, please head to Twitter and use the hashtag #GivingTalent_a-chance. We're now going to hear from our first outstanding performer this evening, 18-year-old pianist Bridget Yee. Bridget came alone to the UK from Malaysia aged 11 to take up a scholarship at Wells Cathedral School. She studied double bass and piano, thinking she would go into a career as an orchestral double bassist. However, it was the inspiration and validation of her talents on the piano that led her to pursue her ambitions of becoming a concert pianist. AYM supported Bridget's studies for 2 years, and now as an AYM alumna, she has recently begun her studies as an undergraduate at the Royal Academy of Music.
Hello, I'm Bridget Yee and I'm speaking from London. I will be playing Embraceable You by George Gershwin, and this transcription is by Earl Wild, who was known as one of the greatest transcriber of his time in America. He was no stranger of Gershwin's work, as he transcribed many other songs and works by him, such as I Got Rhythm and Fascinating Rhythm, and I hope you enjoy it.
Wow, that was incredible. What a fantastic start to this evening. The themes of inspiration and validation really resonate with me. It takes me back to being a 16-year-old violinist needing a new violin. I had just won a scholarship to the Purcell School, but I didn't have a violin to match. AYM support in helping me purchase a new instrument really gave me a lot of self-belief. Without them, I wouldn't have made the progress that I made, and undoubtedly I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you, AYM. Now, I'm going to introduce an extremely talented award winner. He's already somewhat of an internet sensation, 12-year-old Mayukhjit Chakraborty. We are proud at AYM to be supporting Mayukh on his musical journey as a classical flautist and on the Indian bansuri. At our fundraising concert last term, Mayukh joined forces with world-renowned tabla player Sandyman for this beautiful performance of an Indian classical raga, Raga Bihag.
So hi, I'm Mayukhjit Chakraborty, and I play a variety of instruments, including Indian flute, and oboe and piano. Bansuri, it's like a really creative instrument. First of all, it has like no such thing as keys, unlike the Western flute. It has holes instead, and that means you can have some more like creative techniques that we can do on the Indian flute that we can't on the Western flute or any other instrument. There's things called mirrors and gummucks. So like mirrors like gliding smoothly between two notes, and you can't do that on a Western flute. And gummuck is like bouncing on a note quite smoothly as well. Like it's almost like staccato, but like it's not in a way, because like the notes are still joint in a way, and you can't do that on a Western flute. So I like it because of its creative personality. Indian music in general, it's not notated really, so that means it enables me to like make things up on the spot, and that makes it a lot of fun, I guess. It allows you to try something new every single time. It's not like something you write down. The only thing you're supposed to remember really is like the rules to Indian music, because like in a raga there's like a scale which you have to follow. It's kind of like a key in Western music, and you also have to follow rhythm and stuff like that. So awards for young musicians, they have helped me a lot because they've supported me in funding my studies for Junior Guildhall, as basically my dream since I was a little kid, when I started learning music, was to actually go to a really good music school such as a music conservatoire. An example would be like the Junior Guildhall, and like AYM has helped me achieve that goal, like to be at a music conservatoire, and has enabled me to like learn music in general in a better perspective.
What an incredibly engaging performance that was. So wonderful to see the rapport between the two musicians. It takes hours of commitment and dedication for our performers to be the talented musicians we are watching tonight. And supporting them behind the scenes can also be challenging. Here's David Craggs, father of Teagan, an AYM award-winning violinist, to tell us more.
Hello, I'm David, Teagan and Cole's dad. Both of our children at Wells Cathedral School on music scholarships. Teagan plays the violin and Cole plays the trumpet. We're extremely proud parents, and the rewards of seeing our children progress far outweigh any challenges to overcome. There's a lot of carting them around the country, schedule clashes and staggered collection times. It's not cheap either, especially when you factor in the cost of petrol. Then there's the cost of tuition, courses, orchestra membership, sheet music, accompanists, competition entrance fees, buying, hiring and maintaining instruments and accessories, bow rehairs. That bow sheds more hair than I do. And 80 quid for a rehair every couple of months, sometimes I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. In fact, it probably would have been cheaper to have bought her a pony by now. I can recall a time when my children were a fair bit younger, when I called my bank to arrange an overdraft extension. The customer service advisor at the other end explained I would be required to quantify our household income and list our outgoings. What is the rent, food, electricity, gas? That's probably going to be around 4 million this year. Bus fares, violin lessons. At this point, the advisor interrupted. We'll come to entertainment costs in a moment. If you could just stick to essential expenses now, please. Entertainment? I'm not talking about a Netflix subscription here. Entertainment, the action of providing or being provided with amusement or enjoyment. Certainly, playing a musical instrument does this. However, I'm sure anyone who has invested hours of their life into learning an instrument is acutely aware there's considerably more to it than that. How was I now supposed to explain to my 6-year-old daughter, who in order to attend her weekly violin lessons had to take a 3.5-hour round bus journey and rush to the top of steep hills on cold, dark, wet and windy winter's evenings, who woke up to practice at 6 a.m. before hurrying off to catch the bus to school again, that she did so in the pursuit of providing or being provided with amusement or enjoyment. This wasn't the first or last time that we got the impression that others perceived our children's musical activities to be relatively insignificant when compared to other more pressing priorities. That music was something nice to do if and when there was some spare time. I remember another occasion when Teagan was in primary school, when a class teacher was set an assignment to undertake a research project on the Vikings and present back to the class with a picture, speech or song. Teagan sought out an assortment of Nordic music and, inspired by the hardanger fiddle tune she heard, set about composing an original piece rich in double-stop drones and laden with trills and grace notes. On the day of the project was due, she brought her violin to school, ready to perform for the class. All of the other children got up and presented their work, but the teacher told her that there would not be enough time for her to play a 3-minute piece today and to bring her violin on the next day. The next day, Teagan came back to school with a violin, but was once again told that there wasn't enough time today. Teagan played the piece to her violin teacher, Annie, that evening, who filmed it and helped her enter the video in a competition. Teagan won an award and used the prize money to pay for her violin lessons. So we no longer needed Janet at HSBC anymore. That's why awards for young musicians is so important. They realise that music is not an expense that can be spared. Of course, the financial help that they provide is greatly appreciated and much needed, but equally, if not more valuable, is that they are willing to provide practical support, make time for performance opportunities and offer encouragement and recognition to talented young people who are dedicated and passionate about music. Recently, AYM asked Teagan to perform a solo at an event in London, and we're going to hear the performance now. Teagan played James McMillan's After the Tryst. I hope you enjoyed the performance as much as we did. Thank you.
That was brilliant. 15-year-old violinist Teagan Craggs, accompanied on the piano by Ben Dawson. As you've seen tonight, we're here for our young musicians right from the start of their musical journeys, helping to spot, nurture and grow their talent so it can truly blossom. We're incredibly proud of these brilliant young people like those you've heard this evening. Their musical success is possible thanks to AYM supporters, our individual donors, trusts and foundations, and important public funders like Youth Music and Arts Council England, and of course those who leave us a generous legacy. Thanks to our supporters, we're now helping 850 talented young people across the UK with vital funding and other assistance for their music making. But there are so many more young musicians we could help if we had more resources. If you are able to help, we'd be hugely grateful. Please visit www.a-y-m.org.uk/donate to donate today. It has been great to have been your host tonight. We hope you've enjoyed the performances this evening and finding out more about our important work here at Awards for Young Musicians. Thanks so much for joining us. It's goodbye from me, Mahalia Edwards, and from all of us at AYM. But before we finish, we have one final performer for you. She's an All Ireland champion and multi-instrumentalist from Derry, Northern Ireland, Caitriona Lagan.
Hello everyone, my name is Caitriona Lagan and I am from Ireland. I am playing a traditional Irish reel called Coolies, which is composed by Joe Mills. I'm playing it on 5 of my instruments, the banjo, mandolin, fiddle, mandola and the guitar. Hope you enjoy.